France is a wonderful country. It's a country which is very diverse. It's very central in Europe. It's one of the main European economies. And this is also the home of gastronomy.
You can find big groups, you can find startups, young startups, you can find international organizations, multicultural groups and communities, so you can share your own culture, your own skills, and I'm sure it will be a great journey. Teaching in business schools is extremely interesting because we get to look at real-life examples of companies for management and marketing, and I prioritize student involvement, both in the participation in class and also in bringing topics that they're curious about. So I try to create a really interactive environment where everybody learns from each other. I learn from my students, and I hope that they learn from me too.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Darren HUNT, as it says on the screen. I'm the president of Our International School of Management. I'm here today to talk to you about why you should consider coming to study in France, and indeed why you should consider coming to Our International School of Management. I'm not alone. I have two people with me here today, two ladies. Let's just bring one of you on the screen first of all. Lakshmi. Hi, Lakshmi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Darren?
I'm very good, thank you. So, Lakshmi, you're the admissions manager for
Yeah.
Aura, so you're part of my team, and you're based in Kerala. We
Yeah.
have somebody else with us here today,
We
which
have
is Jennifer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Hi,
we
Darren.
have
Hi,
Jennifer
Lakshmi.
from Crossroads. Hi, Jennifer. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Jennifer, before we go further, obviously there's myself from Aura. We have Lakshmi from Aura too, who's based in Kerala. Jennifer, could you explain to us, I know who you are, but could you explain to everybody here today who you are and what you do exactly?
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure to be here today. I am the managing director of Crossroads Career Consultants Private Limited. We are an organization dealing with study abroad as well as different study options in India. We are based out of Kochi. Our office is in Oberon Mall, and we are happy to be associated with Aura International so that we can send more students to France for the different programs that you're offering. So yes, that's a little bit about myself and my team, and we are happy to be associated with Aura, like I said, and we're happy to have all of you on this program right now. Over to
Right.
you, Dan.
Thank you very much. So don't go away, just both of you, if you could hang around. I'm going to take you off the screen now so I can give the short presentation, and then I'll bring you back in later so that you can help me answer any questions that we have. Okay? Thank you so much, ladies. Okay, so let's get back to the actual presentation itself. So today we're going to be talking about France and Aura. Now, France has not always been the popular destination to go to study. It's usually been the UK, where I was educated. It could be the United States, New Zealand, Australia, English speaking countries usually. Now, why talk about France? France is becoming the most popular place to go. Why is that? I think it's for many reasons. You'll see that financially it's more interesting, perhaps, to go and study in France. Basically, it's cheaper, for want of a better word. The visas are easier, perhaps, than some countries where it's becoming more and more difficult. As long as you have a good project, you know why you want to go and study in France. So obviously, you need to know a little bit about France and also about the school you're going to. But all of that will be answered during this webinar. So going back to Aura, we're offering programs on bachelor's level, master's level, and an EMBA, which I will explain to you. It is an MBA, but it's an executive MBA. The subjects are international business management or international hospitality management. So, without further ado, Aura International School of Management was created in 2021. So, we're a relatively new school. It wasn't created just by myself. There was a team of us that started, or 4 of us to start with, and now there's much more people in the team of Aura. We have 2 campuses. We have one that's based in Paris and one that's based in Lyon. I'll explain why we chose to be in those 2 cities in just a moment. First of all, the campus in Paris. It's based in a part of Paris that's called La Défense, which is the biggest business hub in the whole of Europe. So it made sense for Aura to be based in the business hub and the biggest one in Europe. Just moving on, you can see some photographs here of the campus. So there's the cafeteria, we have the reading area, the reception area, and one of the classrooms. There's also a games room. There's a computer room. We have absolutely everything you need there. It's a very big campus, and once again, it's right in the heart of the business hub. Moving on to the city of Lyon. Now, Lyon, you may not have heard of. Obviously, everybody's heard of Paris, maybe not so much Lyon. Lyon is actually the 2nd largest economic city in France. It's also known to be the capital of gastronomy. You may have heard of what we call Michelin stars for restaurants, because in hotels you have 2, 3, 4, 5-star, and then above that you have palaces. In the restaurant business, for very high-end restaurants, you have Michelin stars. They originated from this city, and that's one of the reasons that we're there. And also because some of the big chefs in France originated from there, and some of them still have their flagship restaurants there too. So for this side of the business, it made sense for us to be there. Although in both campuses, we teach both hospitality and business. There again, you have some photographs with some of the students, very international. I think I recognize most of them. There's one from Egypt I can see there. There's a French girl just playing table football underneath. And there you have the cafeteria and the games room. So moving on, when you go and study abroad, one of the things you need to think about is your budget. Obviously, you need to know how much it's going to cost you to go to the school you've chosen to go to. And then you need to think about living expenses. Accommodation is the biggest thing you're going to pay for, without a shadow of a doubt. In Europe, generally, it's quite expensive. Certainly in France, between 400 and 800 euros per month, depending whether you're in the centre of the town, where it'll be a little bit more expensive, or the exterior of the town, where it'll be cheaper. So between 400 to 800 euros per month, and that's either in Paris or Lyon. Now, there are 2 bits of good news here. The first one is that through Aura International, we can provide accommodation for you, and that's both in the city of Lyon or in Paris itself, which will work out a little bit cheaper for you. And then on top of that, the biggest point is that the French government actually subsidize your accommodation. So they will pay back to you each month between 35 and 50% of your rent. So you can see the French government are doing all that they can to entice you to come and study in France. The next big point is the internships. When we go into the depths of the programs that we're offering, and I show them to you, you will see that each year you will have 6 months studies and 6 months internship, which means you can put into practice in your internship what we have taught you during the first 6 months of the year. So each year, 6 months and 6 months. Whilst you are doing your internship, you are paid. You will have no less than 624 euros per month. It could be much more than that. I've seen double, even triple. It depends on the partner. We actually provide the internship through our partners. So it depends which partner you're with on how much you will earn. But the absolute minimum, because it's the law in France, you cannot earn less than 624 euros a month. 623.70 to be precise. Some of our partners here on screen, that's just a few of them. The screen wouldn't be big enough for all of them. You have people in finance, in general business. You have the chambers of commerce. You have hotels, all kinds, and very high end each time. In fact, in the hotel industry, Most of our partners are actually palaces, which are above 5-star. We've had recently students that have come back from their winter internship, and they were actually in the skiing resorts. I received a couple of messages from students saying that they'd seen snow for the first time, so that was quite exciting. Moving on. Benefits of coming to France itself. First and foremost, the social security system. We have a very good health and insurance system in France. It's equally very expensive because it's very good. However, for international students, this is taken care of by the government. So health and insurance coverage for all international students. Internship assistance, I've just previously mentioned, which is where you are guaranteed that you would be paid whilst you're doing your internship, minimum of €624, thereabouts. And we would provide the internships through our partner companies. Schengen visa is the visa that you will need to come to France to study. Now, whilst you have this visa, you could technically visit any other country within the Schengen region. During the holidays, you could do this. Obviously, we have the summer holidays, the winter holidays, Christmas holidays. So each time the school is closed, some of our students will go away for the weekend or maybe for a week in the summer or a little bit more if they can. Having said that, obviously, during the time that you're studying, you're going to be very busy studying. The studies actually represent 2.5 days per week, which means you have 4.5 days of free time. A lot of our students actually have part-time jobs, which again is regulated. You can't earn less than €10 or thereabouts, approximately €10 an hour, which means they could be earning something like €800 a month as a part-time job. Moving on to the CAF, this is what I mentioned concerning the subsidy on accommodation rental, which means that the government will pay you between 35 and 50% of your rent to help you with your rent because it's so expensive here in Europe. Student concessions. You will have an official student card from our school, and because we're linked to the government, with this card you can have concessions in almost everywhere for students. It's cheaper. It could be transportation, which can be up to 70% cheaper. Certain food outlets, even McDonald's is cheaper for students. So everything is cheaper for students in France. Going now into the actual programs themselves. So the first one is the BBA, which is the bachelor's degree. So again, the specializations are in international business management or international hospitality management. The course duration is 3 years, and the structure of the course is 6 months studies, 6 months internship, and that's each year, whether you're here for 2 years or 3 years. Eligibility criteria: European Baccalaureate, the high school diploma, 12th grade or higher secondary school certificate, or the equivalent in any stream. In terms of the course fees, you have them on the bottom of the screen. This is a video on YouTube, so you can come back to this and look at it once again, or even freeze the screen. So in Paris, we have a course fee of €10,400 per annum, and in Lyon, €8,500. The admin fee is €320 per year. Now, the next intake is the 2nd of September, which means we're closing applications very, very shortly. So if you want to arrive in France and start studying from September, you need to move very quickly. However, if you miss this intake for September, we do have another one that's literally 8 weeks later in November. So, and we're opening the applications for November very, very shortly when we close for September. The reason that we close now for September is because you need a couple of months for us to help you and take you through the process of obtaining your visa. And that's why we need to close generally at the end of this month. But there are a few days left. Go for it if you want to go in September. Otherwise, we will point you towards the November intake, which is open now. And again, we need to even move quickly with that because it's not that far away, believe me. So moving on to the MBA, the master's degree in business administration, again in international business management or international hospitality management. This time the course is a 2-year course, 6 months study, 6 months internship. That's not going to change. However, the eligibility criteria basically need to have your bachelor's degree. The European Baccalaureate you wouldn't have, or you could have the equivalents in any other stream. Now, the course fee here is €11,400 for Paris and €9,500 for Lyon, with the admin fee again. And again, the intake is September the 2nd, or the November one that will be after that. Just while I'm on the question of the cost of the courses, you will see that it is slightly more expensive to study in Paris, as it's the capital. Everything costs a lot more money there, including what we pay. So basically, yes, it's more expensive. However, stay tuned because we will be telling you about the scholarships that we offer, and you will see that we're offering more scholarships in Paris. So it actually works out pretty much the same kind of price, whether you want to go to Paris or Lyon. Okay, so moving on to the EMBA. So this is a master's degree. It's an MBA. Executive, why? Because quite simply, this is for people that have their bachelor's degree. And then immediately after completing their bachelor's degree, they started a job and they went out to work. If you are in the situation, you have your bachelor's degree and then you went out to work and you've been working for a minimum of 3 years, then you can apply for an EMBA, which is exactly the same as a master's degree, except it's completed in 1 year. So within 1 year, you could have an EMBA. This again would be eligible as an MBA would be for stay-over visas, etc., if you wish to stay in the country afterwards. But I'm sure we'll have questions on that a little later. Just while I'm talking about questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments box on the YouTube channel, and we will be answering those towards the end of this webinar. So back to the EMBA. So it's a 12-month course, 6 months studies, 6 months internship. Again, you need to have your bachelor's degree and to have worked for a minimum of 3 years. This is only available in the campus that's situated in the city of Lyon. The course fee is €11,200, and the intake for this is October. So again, we still need to move quickly, but we will be closing very shortly over the next few weeks the applications for the EMBA. Early bird scholarships. I mentioned earlier that we're attracting people to be able to give them the chance to be able to do their studies in Paris or Lyon. It works out to pretty much the same kind of price. As you can see for Paris on the right-hand side of your screen, we're offering for both BBA and MBA a €1,500 scholarship for the first year. And the second year, we're offering €3,000 scholarship, massive scholarship for the second year too. So that's for Paris. For Lyon, for the BBA and MBA, it's a €3,000 scholarship for the second year, not for the first year. And for the EMBA, it's a €1,000 scholarship. Okay. I'm going to talk to you now about actually applying, but I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we have the two ladies that you saw earlier, Jennifer and Lakshmi. Jennifer's our trusted partner, and also Lakshmi is actually working for us, so they would help you go through the process. However, I just wanted to say it's really, really simple. We just have to have a few documents from you, such as your passport, some photocopies, a filled application form, an updated CV, and a letter of motivation, a couple of other points, and that's it. Then you would have an interview with a local member of our staff, probably Lakshmi, and then after that, one other interview. These are online interviews where we're just going to be talking to you about your project. Why do you want to go to France? Why do you want to go and study in our school in Aura? And for that kind of information, I really do advise you to go to our website because you can find out a lot about France itself and the two different cities. And then you can obviously learn more about what we're offering, because I went very briefly over the programs that we're offering, but there are much more details on the website showing you the actual subjects that are covered, how many hours for each subject you'll be doing, all the information you need. And you will need this so that you can fully understand where you're going and what you're going to do. So just moving on to accreditations. These are basically accreditations for the school and the programs that we're offering. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them maybe not. If I just run through them very quickly for you, AMBA Business Graduates Association is worldwide. We have ICRE, which is specifically, it's worldwide too, they all are, but ICRE is specifically for hospitality. EFMD Global is for business and hospitality, although for ourselves it's more the business side of things. RNCP, you've probably never heard of, but it's probably one of the most important on the screen. This is actually the French government. And then we have the Chambers of Commerce on the left-hand side, which we're extremely proud of because we're one of only 9 schools that are actually a partner with the Chambers of Commerce. So I've been through that extremely quickly for you, probably 20 minutes tops. I'm sure you've got questions. Put them into the comments box and we'll look at those and answer them for you, unless we've done our job so well that you know everything you need to know. You have our details on the screen of the website, auragroup.com. Go there, have a look at what France is about. If you've never considered going to France, just have a look. It's got lots of information on there about France itself, and then, of course, the two cities, Paris and Lyon. What I'm going to do now is just bring back onto screen the ladies from earlier. And I think what would be really good now is if we have a look at some of the questions that we may have. Do we have any questions? We don't have that many actually, so I think we've done our job rather well. We do have one from Kartika. I hope I pronounced that right, and excuse me if I didn't. Do you provide internship support for the students? Can answer that one. Yes, we do. I've mentioned it just a while ago. So basically, we will actually provide you with a contact with our partners. They will organise, well, we will organise with them for you to have an interview with them. Obviously, then it's for you to shine. You've got to be at your best. You've got to be able to answer the questions that they ask, etc. Everything would be in English, although talking about the English and French side of things, you do not need any particular certification to come to France, no IELTS or any other documents of that kind or certificates of that kind. However, you do need to understand. If you have understood me today, then for the visa process, it will be fine. And certainly for the internships, it will be fine. The person that looks after the internships at Aura, his name is Maxime. He's the leader of the placement team. So he looks after placements for internships, but also after you've completed your studies. We have students that wanted to stay over in France for a while and actually carry on to work. And we've even had students that have been offered jobs where they've been doing their internship. So absolutely everything is possible. Okay, so thank you for that, Kartika. I hope I got that right. I've got the details on the screen now of our trusted partner here. So you've got the telephone number and you've also got the email. I hope that's correct, what we've put on the screen. Is that right, Jennifer? Okay, great. So if you have any questions, then, please get in touch with our trusted partner. It just made sense for us. We have Lakshmi that's actually from Aura, but it made sense for us that our partner is here with us because they're the people that will be taking you through the system itself until you get to France. But we are there to help, and that's what Lakshmi is for. Okay, we have a question here from Travelers Vlog BD. Okay, I'm sure that's not your real name, but that's great. So you must have some sort of a blog going there, a vlog, sorry. Okay, so how many intakes study in France? So currently we had an intake in the month of April, May, depending on which course you were doing. We now have the September intake and we have the November intake. Generally speaking, in France, the intakes are September. We have different intakes, and obviously depending on the programs that you're doing. But to answer your question very abruptly, so we had April, September, and now November. Let's have a look if we have any others. Oh, this is a question I've never had before. Moments with Amu. How many Indians are currently studying at Aura? I don't have the exact figure, so please don't quote me on this, but I would say, to be totally transparent with you, I would say that the majority of our students are from India because we started when we opened the school with India itself and we went to India. I've been there many times, I go there many times. So I would say the majority are Indians. We have from all over India, whether it's from the south, whether it's from Kerala. We have a lot of students from Kerala. We do have from all over India, really. Everywhere where I've been, we have from Delhi, we have from Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, absolutely everywhere. So a lot of Indians. I couldn't give you an exact figure, but if I had to give you an idea, I'd say probably at least 100, 150, something like this. So there are a lot of Indians there. So yeah, I mean, you'll be at home. But I mean, it's great that you want to know how many Indians are there. But I would say to you, when they come to France, a lot of them want to stick together. I say to you, if you can, the best thing in the world you can do is mix with other nationalities because we have people from Egypt, from Lebanon, we have people from the Philippines, from Vietnam, from Nepal, from Sri Lanka, from all other countries. And it's good to mix with them. You get to know about new cultures, you get to try new food, you get to try everything. But yeah, I mean, a lot of our Indian students do tend to stick together, including in the accommodation. They say, please, mum, because there's a lady that looks after the accommodation. They say, please, mum, could we be together with these people because they're from our part of the country? Not a problem. We can do that. It's up to you. Okay. I think we've pretty much covered um, all of the um, all of the different questions that we had. We do have one other one. This is again from Traveller's blog. And you have the details of Lakshmi on the screen here. So admissions.kerala at aura-group. There's a spelling error there. Person that wrote this must have been a little bit tired this morning. Group. It's group, not group. I'm not sure how you say that. I think I know who done that, so he knows I'm pulling his leg and joking with him, if it's who I think it is. Okay, so let me just have a look. We do have, I'm sure, a couple of other questions. Yeah. Okay. Is it hard to get a France student visa for a Bangladeshi student? Okay, so you're actually from Bangladesh. Um, okay, not an easy one to answer because I'm going to tell you for any country. I'm not going to talk specifically about Bangladesh because all countries are the same. Whichever country you go to, the French government are there. They have their embassy, they have the consulate. They are there to give visas. If I talk about India, because we're with Indian students predominantly perhaps today, our government, our president actually, when he was last in India, said that he wanted 25,000 Indian students to come to France. He does this in a lot of countries, and we want students to come from all countries. They are there to give visas. They're not there to make your life difficult. The visa success rate should be very good. We have partners with whom we're working where we've literally had 80, 90, 95% success rate. The problem is that I think you have to be aware that if you're going to study in another country, the only reason that you wouldn't get a visa, or one of the couple of reasons you wouldn't get a visa for, is one, if financially you can't afford it, because the government has to ensure that when you come and live in the country, you have sufficient funds to live comfortably. We don't want it to be difficult for you to live here. So you have to have sufficient funds. The second thing is that you have to know where you're going, why you're going there, and what you want to do. I personally have spoken to students. I don't do it so often, but I've tried to do it when I can. I've spoken to students and I've asked them the simple question, why have you chosen to go to France? Why not the UK or the States or wherever? And they just say, well, I was told it was good. Okay, that's good, but you need to look into it a little bit more. I mean, there are so many advantages of coming to France, which I mentioned earlier. So look at those. Look at the school you're going to. Maybe Aura International is not the school for you. You need to look at the school and make sure it's really what you want. The courses that they offer are what you want. And then you need to know, excuse me, then you need to know what you're going to do after your program, after you have obtained your bachelor's degree or your master's degree. These are the typical questions that you will be asked when you're going for a visa. If you have no idea, then it just looks as if you really don't know what you're doing. If you want to stay in France once you've completed your studies, then tell them that. You don't have to lie about it. Just say to them, look, I'm thinking of staying in France for a while to get a job, work there, and then maybe I'll go back to my country, maybe I'll go to another country. I don't really know, but I'll just see how things go. So learn about the country, learn about ourselves. You've had our details earlier on the screen. I'll put them back on in a moment for the website where it's got lots of information. So getting a visa is not difficult. You just have to be prepared. Now, our partner, Jennifer, is there, Lakshmi's there. They will help you and explain to you what will happen. We've had students that have been refused visas once, and then the second time they've got them. We've had a student that actually was refused twice. Actually, he was from India. He was refused twice. He wanted so badly to come to our school, he applied again, and the third time he got it. Then we asked and tried to find out, well, what happened the first couple of times. I mean, his financial situation hasn't changed, etc. A lot of people actually get a bit flustered and panic when they go to, because you're going to an embassy, you're going to meet somebody probably as old as me that has a lot of experience, and then it can be intimidating. So we try and help you again with Jennifer and Lakshmi. We try and help you prepare for this so that you don't panic, because it's just a short interview where you'll be discussing who you are, what you want to do. You have to be conversant in English and you have to be comfortable. So those are the main reasons why you could be refused. as for Bangladesh itself, it's no different to any other country. You just need to have a very good project, have the paperwork, and we will help you go through the rest of it. Sorry for my long answer, but it's a big subject. I talked about the visa success rates. There was a question for that. Amir7 says, will we get our money back if there's any visa rejection? Absolutely, 100%. We're linked to the government. We cannot just ask you to give us some money and then just run away with it and go and buy Christmas presents. That doesn't work. You'll be reimbursed 100% of what you have actually given for your courses and paid for your courses. There is one point, the 320 euros of admin fee. This is not reimbursed because we actually have a lot of work to take you through the process. So other than the 320, 100% of your program fees, if you were refused, they will be reimbursed. I'm not sure if I understand 100% this from Cookie Talks. What would be the show money? Okay. Does that
Living
mean the
expense.
money?
Maintenance, yeah.
That is okay. Perhaps you can answer this one, Lakshmi, or do you want me to
Yeah.
answer?
No, I'll go on with that. So the show money means the maintenance that the student needs to save in their account. So for Lyon campus, we usually advise the students to keep 10,000 euros. And for Paris campus, we ask the students to keep 12,000 euros. So this is the maintenance amount for the student for their living expense for the first year. So yeah, that is the amount that they need to maintain.
It's also important to point out that it needs to have been on an account for a while. It can't just be there the Monday and then gone out the Tuesday, because obviously you could just borrow money for one day and give it back. They need to see that you have the money. It could be that you've applied for a loan. That happens, a student loan. So obviously they'd need proof of that too. But yeah, so basically, look, we're looking at about 12,000 euros that you need to show. On the whole, if you have 12,000, you can say, look, I'm going to be able to live comfortably. That's what I have. However, that doesn't stop you when you come to France having a part-time job. As I mentioned earlier, the courses are 2.5 days a week. 100% of our students in both campuses that wanted a part-time job have one, and they can work up to 964 hours a year. It's on average 20 hours a week. So that can give them some extra money and lots of spare time. Okay, let's have a look. We have a question here from Moments with Amu. Do you help with documents for applying for an educational loan? Lakshmi or Jennifer,
Yes.
whoever wants to answer.
We have a trusted partner, Jennifer, like Crossroads Overseas. So you can also ask the help from them. They'll also guide you throughout the process. Also, we guide our students on how to maintain the funds and what kind of documents you'll need for the whole process. So you can approach either of us to deal with that. We'll sort it out.
Great, thank you. Okay, another one here from the Travellers vlog. Without IELTS, is it possible to get a visa, students? I think is what you're saying. Absolutely, 100%. In fact, to come to France, you do not need IELTS or any other certificate to prove your level of English. All you need to do is to be able to talk and to understand. So you need to be able to hold a conversation in English. When you go to the French embassy or the consulate, or you have your interview for the visa, that will be 100% in English. So basically, it's just have a good level of English, nothing more than that. We do have another question. Wow, you're keeping us busy today. I'd love to know your name. Can you let us know your name, Travellers Vlog, just so that I know who I'm talking to? We have another question from you. How many student gaps accept most of the university?
Study gaps. So, yeah, for bachelor's, if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, we can mostly accept around 2 to 3 years. And if it's for an executive MBA, yeah, we look for students who have good work experience, or if you've already done a master's, we can consider that. So study gap won't be much of a problem for executive MBA. But for master's and bachelor's, we usually take around 2 to 3 years. It depends.
Okay, great. You can see I've put the details on the screen again. So you have our assistance email, which is on the screen, and then you have our trusted partners again. And here we have just again Let me have a look. I'm just looking if we have any other questions, actually. Let me just put the details of Lakshmi on the screen. Okay, so it looks as if we've answered pretty much all of the questions today. So I'd just like to take this time to thank you all. If you do think of other questions, get in touch with our trusted partner Jennifer or with Lakshmi directly. But they work very close together, and our partner's there to be able to help you make the choice of where you want to go, whether it's to France or anywhere else. But trust me, France is a popular destination. It's becoming more and more popular for reasons such as we've mentioned, the visa, the cost of actually studying. All of this makes it very easy to come to France, and probably financially very interesting too. So it just leaves me to say thank you to you all, and I'm going to wish you an absolutely fantastic weekend. Also, just one last point is, if you want to have all the latest information, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that as soon as some new information comes out about the courses that we're doing or the intakes, etc., and the different programs, you'll be the first people to know. So thank you all. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend, and we hope to see some of you in France soon. Thank you, Lakshmi, and thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Lakshmi, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.